We're about to record and start our session. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. This session with New York State Insurance Fund. We have Tiffany and Don here representing the organization. And Tiffany and Don, the floor is yours.
All right, thank you, Eleanor. Hi, everyone. My name is Tiffany Parker. I'm with the New York State Insurance Fund, and I'm joined here with my colleague, Dawn Askew. I'm located in our Albany office of the New York State Insurance Fund, and Dawn is in our Buffalo location. Originally from New York City, Brooklyn, born and raised, and then I lived in Queens for the past 20 years before relocating to the Albany area. So I'm very familiar with, I think, the demographic of the students' population. Thank you for joining us. So we're going to talk a little bit about the opportunities available at our agency and just state service as a whole. I know we're speaking to students in the school for business college, I believe. And so I want to highlight a lot of our different areas of professional opportunities in our actuarial departments, auditing, finance, and some other areas. We are actually, before getting to who we are, I'm going to start sharing my screen so we can just jump into our presentation. Feel free to use the chat. If you have any questions, my colleague will be assisting with that. And we're also going to have an opportunity for Q&A after we're done, okay? So let's see. I haven't used Zoom in a while. Here we go. Share screen. All right. First, let me get my PowerPoint onto the screen, and then we're going to get going. Okay. Oh, 1 second. All right, here we go. Can everyone see my screen okay? Yep. All right, I'm going to present it now. All righty. So who are we at NYSIF? Trying to move my slides. Sorry. Okay. So NYSIF is an agency that's been around for over 100 years. We are committed to providing protection and security coverage for the New York State workforce. And essentially, we were born from the labor movement. You know, many of us are familiar with different labor unions, and it's because of the interest of keeping people safe at work is what has generated our agency. So we're going to get a little bit into that and what we stand for. So NYSIF, what does NYSIF stand for? We are a New York State agency specializing in workers' compensation and disability insurance, and we represent employers conducting business in New York State. So typically, if you are a small business owner or a larger company doing business in New York State, you are required to provide workers' compensation and disability insurance depending on your size. And so we provide that insurance option for employers. Insurance is our product that we sell here, and it's coverage by contract whereby one party undertakes the indemnify or guarantees against a loss. Many of us are familiar with how insurance works, whether it's for car insurance, homeowners insurance, renters insurance. You are essentially paying in to a product which says if something happens, you'll be compensated for that loss. And the way that we are financed as a fund, which means that there's a sum of money that's saved based on the collection of premiums from our policyholders, and then that money is thereby used for a particular purpose or paid out in the case if there's any casualty or loss. Sorry, my clicker is, okay. Is my screen moving? Because it's not moving on my end. Okay, sorry, let me go back. I apologize. All right. I think this is where we're at. Okay, sorry about that. So we're a state insurance fund, which means that we're a governmental insurance carrier providing workers' compensation disability benefits to employers. And employers must purchase insurance from their state insurance fund if they're unable to obtain it privately. So that means we are doing business competitively with other insurance providers. Okay. As a state insurance fund, we must offer workers' compensation insurance to any employer that asks for it. Um, Also, as an issuer of last resort, if an employer is unable to obtain insurance anywhere else, we are then required to provide that coverage for them. So while we are competing for business as a state agency, we are required to provide that coverage in the event that a company is not able to afford insurance from a private sector company. And this plays a key role into guaranteeing availability and affordability for businesses to have workers' compensation insurance for their employees. All right, so this kind of goes a little bit into the history of why this particular agency was formed. Um, we see that there was an impact that was a huge trajectory for us in 1914. We actually just kind of commemorated this particular event, which was a Triangle Shirt Waste Factory fire. And in that fire, employees, there was a loss of life and other injuries. And what happened because of that, the public was infuriated, right? This was what galvanized labor movements to thereby push for a reform in health and safety and labor laws. And this then led to the creation of the worker compensation system here in New York State. So, effective July 1, 1914, was the law that said that we must have workers' compensation, which means that um, employees or workers who were to have a loss in wage or medical benefits that were due to a work-related injury, um, sorry about that, would be compensated. It removed the pro-employer defenses, which made employers now liable for compensation if their employees were injured. And it also established the New York State Workers' Compensation Board and Insurance and New York State Insurance Fund, which is us. Here is our mission statement here at NYSIF. We're guaranteed to making sure that we're providing available um, workers' compensation disability insurance at the lowest possible cost to New York employers while maintaining a solvent fund. And since our inception, the mission has been, while we're competing with other carriers, still providing a guaranteed source of coverage for employers who cannot secure coverage elsewhere. And as an agency, we strive to achieve the best health outcomes for injured workers and to be an industry leader in price, quality, and service for New York State employers. Okay, so how is our governing structure? So NYSIF is made up of a board of commissioners as well as an executive director and CEO. And they're going to provide leadership and oversight to ensure that we're fulfilling our mission as an agency. We have our board members. We have those that are appointed by means of the Business Council of New York State. We also have statutes in place from the Commissioner of Labor. We are liable to our policyholders as well. And we have an appointment of an executive director who then manages the day-to-day operations of our agency. Currently, our current executive director and CEO, Gaurav, he's been in place since 2021, and with his appointment has been some nice developments and initiatives the agency has undertaken in harnessing technology so that we can increase efficiency in our business operations, and also focusing too on the employees, mental health, professional development, and creating more opportunities for employees within state service. The one great thing about our agency is that we are located throughout New York State. We have a very diverse workforce because, of course, living in New York State, it is a melting pot. And so we are located in Rochester, Syracuse, Albany, Long Island, White Plains, New York City, Binghamton, and Buffalo. So it's a great opportunity, depending on what part of the state that you may end up settling in post-college or while even in college. The opportunities are vast in terms of employment here at the agency. These are our various departments located here, departments and divisions located here, where depending on your area of focus for your degree can be applicable. Like I mentioned before, we have actuaries, which is one of our harder to recruit positions. We have our investment section, our finance department, policyholder services, ITS, our claims department, administration, which houses most of our HR, procurement, and other business operating needs. We have our legal department, which is our Office of General Counsel, where we have all of our attorneys and paralegals. And so, as you can see, we have a wide array of professional opportunities available if you were to join our team here at NYSIF. All right, this kind of talked a little bit about some of the things we've been working on, like I mentioned with the appointment of our CEO, some of the things that NYSIF has undertaken for the policyholders and for the employees as a whole. So we have online safety resource and training portal. So while we're providing insurance to individuals and to companies, we still want to make sure that they are maintaining a safe work environment for their employees. So these are some of the initiatives that are put in place to help companies continue to meet those standards. We also have the environmental social governance investing, where an insurer and asset owner the goal here is, it says, is uniquely positioned to decarbonize investments, finance green solutions, and collaborate with business partners to drive change in communities. So we know here that with New York State, a lot of green initiatives are underway, and so NYSIF is a part of that. Also, too, one of our focuses is making sure that we're providing coverage, opportunity to minority women-owned businesses and enterprises, and also making sure that we're servicing our disabled veterans communities as well. Recently implemented in 2022. I know I mentioned earlier that we focus on providing coverage for New York State employers, but we're now branching out of state. You know, New York State is very close to some of our neighboring states, Connecticut and New Jersey, and so we're now opening up to provide coverage to other states as well. But they can still get the same benefits under the laws of New York State. Another initiative we have in place, sorry about that, is our return of premium program. And so this is, so if you have policyholders have a potential to earn disability benefit dividends that can be credited to premium payments. And so at the end of each policy year, employers with a relatively small number of employees are eligible for a return of premium. So if they've kind of overpaid, they're able to get some money back and pay that back to their policyholders. In August 2023, we returned $585 million to New York State businesses through our dividends program. So that was a great achievement for us. And then again, we have our Second Chance program, which allows for, if in the event that a policyholder was unable to maintain insurance coverage, they're not able to, or they were dropped for whatever reason, especially from another company or carrier, we're able to now afford them workers' compensation and disability benefit coverage, even if they may have an outstanding balance that they were still liable for. So these are just some of the things that NYSIF has worked on and continues to develop as an agency. And the last slide I'm going to show you is the main focus as to why we're here today, right? So as you're in school pursuing your degrees, you're thinking about the next step, right? Where's my degree going to take me? The QR codes presented here, or the QR codes presented here, you can scan them and it'll take you to all of our job postings and more information about NYSIF, as well as the one on the right side, the blue one, which takes you to the civil service website. And we're going to talk a little bit more about the civil service. I'm going to stop sharing my screen now, and I can bring the QR codes back up if necessary. But essentially, NYSIF is a state agency, and so because of that, most of our positions are filled by means of a civil service exam. We do have positions that do not require exams, which I'm going to show in a minute, but for the purpose of promotability and career growth, civil service exams is going to be the way to do so. And so while many of you might be pursuing your degree, taking a look at the New York State Civil Service Exam site is a good way to get your foot in the door, or to at least align yourselves for opportunities within not only our agency, but with New York State as a whole. And so I'm going to share my screen again. I'm just going to show you a couple of different positions that we currently have available. And then I'm going to show you the civil service website. Let me share my screen. Okay. All right. So one current position that we have available right now is um, what's called our customer service program specialist position. Um, Now, for this position, as you can see, take note of the minimum qualifications. It starts by saying if you have 6 years experience, this is no degree attached, 6 years of business experience, including 4 years of customer service experience. Or if you have an associate's degree, 4 years of business and 4 years of business experience, and then it goes down further, 2 years and 2 years of customer service, or with a bachelor's degree and just 2 years of customer service experience, or a master's degree or JD. And so um, these are the qualifications for this particular position. Also note the salary range, which is pretty competitive, especially if you're coming right out of college. Um, and this location is in our New York City office. I tried to pull positions specifically for the location that we're going to be in, but keep in mind we also are always recruiting statewide. Um, and so for this position, it's handling day-to-day property functions. Um, this might be a position that's going to involve some travel. It looks like you'll be addressing property issues, providing ID cards, facilitating potential vendors, and coordinating with landlords and ad hoc maintenance. This is one of our positions that's currently available without a civil service exam. Another position I want to draw your attention to is our junior investment analyst position. We're recruiting for this in multiple locations. This particular posting is for our New York City office, and this might be of interest to any of you now, depending on the various degrees that you might be pursuing. Um, Minimum qualifications, again, are a bachelor's degree with a preferred focus in economics, finance, accounting, and any of the related fields. Experience with financial analyst or customer service is helpful. Organizational skills, attention to detail. And so this is another great position that we have here at the agency. Um, One thing about our agency is that we do offer 50% telecommuting, and so that's one of the benefits that most people do take advantage of. So you're in the office 50% of the time, and then the rest of the time you're working from home. You also, as a state agency, we have a great pension plan available, which is another benefit of state service. You can always have a 401k and a 457, any other pre-retirement options, but a pension plan is also a good um, retirement benefit to have. In addition to all of our state holidays that we have, our labor unions, which also offer supplemental coverage when it comes to pursuing your education and other interests. Another position that I wanted to highlight is our project assistant position. This particular position is IT focused. I don't know if we have any IT majors in the group, but this is another statewide posting. We are looking currently for one in New York City. Again, a bachelor's degree supplemented by computer science credit, or having a degree in one of the computer information technology areas is preferred. And Eleanor, I can definitely forward these postings to you if you want to send them to the students when we're done. That'll be fine. I also want to draw your attention to, I mentioned the exams. So we do have what's called continuous recruitment examinations. The great thing about these state exams is that they're more like a questionnaire or application. They're not a physical go to a location, take a multiple choice exam like most of our state exams. These are typically for our more niche, harder to fill positions. If you just take a note, some of them listed here is our actuary positions, engineering, our IT. And so with these, I do recommend individuals to start looking at this sooner than later. For example, for our actuary positions, the exam itself is just going to ask you, have you taken the various actuarial certification examinations necessary? And once you've done that, you've filled out the application, it places you on a civil service list. And then that list is going to be used by us and other agencies to then call you for an interview to now recruit, fulfilling our vacancies. And so depending on your area of interest, I do recommend using that QR code, going to the site, www.cs.ny.gov, and looking at our continuous recruitment examinations. link to see if there are any areas of interest that you're pursuing, and definitely start by taking that civil service exam. Another way to find out about NYSIF opportunities is through state jobs. You can go on here to statejobs.ny.gov. You can even sign up for getting the announcements, both for state exams and for state jobs. And this will show you all of the active recruitments that we have. Currently, we have positions in our auditor area, project assistant, as I mentioned before, data analyst as well. And another, this is one title, the Assistant Insurance Fund Services Representative. Now, this isn't our Albany location specifically, but I just want to draw your attention to it because you might see it also located, postings for it in our other areas. This is another position that does not require a civil service exam. And so it's highly recommended for you guys to look at. Something I just thought about that I wanted to mention as I saw that I can't remember. Okay, but anyway, oh yes, all of our jobs are also located not only on state jobs, but also on Indeed.com as well as LinkedIn. So we have various ways of being able to access and apply for the positions that we offer here at the agency. I know I've said a lot and spoke relatively quickly. So are there any questions at this time from anyone? Let me open the chat. Feel free to unmute.
Some questions, and Dawn has been answering them as
awesome.
as you were presenting. Yes.
Okay, awesome. Okay,
I think
great.
there's one that said, I'm just reading. Hello, my name is Lionel, Senior QC in the Econ and Risk Management program. Just to clarify, the civil service exam is a prerequisite to the junior investment analyst position. Is that correct?
No, I don't know. Currently, our junior investment analyst position does not require a civil service exam.
Okay.
There's no exams, and that's something that we're recruiting for in New York City. Just taking a look at this. Excuse me. It's considered what's called an exempt title, so no exam is required. Yeah, and it's a rather competitive salary, I will say.
Yeah, so Dawn has responded. The junior analyst will require questionnaire style exam where you list your experience education. Got it. Okay.
Miss Tiffany, can I ask about is there any job position? Could you provide a visa sponsorship for foreign students at the QC?
Yeah, we only sponsor up to 1 year, specifically for our internships. We do not sponsor for just general employment, full-time employment, unfortunately.
I see.
Any other questions?
Any other questions? How long does it usually take the process once a student applies till they hear back or till they get, let's say, hired?
Yeah, I mean, you know, we definitely go through resumes, and once we in the HR recruiting department scan and screen resumes, we send it to department managers for review, and then they select who they want to interview. So I could say after the interview process, once someone was now offered a position, that process I would say is about 4 to 6 weeks. It's been decreasing, I want to say, over time. It's just a matter of, paperwork, right? So you'll be contacted by HR and then be required to, fill out another application, which is a little bit more detailed, and then get all your paperwork together. We request approval from our oversight agency. Once you've gotten the approval, then we just establish a start date. But it's a very relatively quick process, quicker than it used to be years ago. Yeah.
That's great. Okay. Any questions from students besides what was posted on the chat?
Yeah, I'm going to just put a few links here too. So I put the state jobs, putting the state job site as well as the civil service link in there. Our email was also located. I'm going to put our email address too. So if there are further inquiries, there will be an internship opportunity for those interested in internships that will be posted. I should have showed that site. There's an internship portal that's used to apply for the internships, and that's going to be up and running for the spring cycle in around February, March of next year. Let me see if I can pull that up and put it in the site for you as well, in the chat for you.
That the internship opportunities are at which, where's the site location?
So they're all throughout the state.
The state.
Yeah, various departments. Yeah, various departments will utilize interns,
Mhm,
and then we're gonna have a group in, and then they're sent to the various locations based on where they live, obviously.
mhm, mhm.
Um, and it's a great because it's a good competitive salary for the I think it's about $25 an hour for the internships. And the
Nice.
good thing about the internships is it starts your credit to service, right? So if you were to get into a full-time position at some point with the state, you can always get that time spent as an intern as your qualifying time towards your pension.
Right.
Okay, so I'm going to put this link in here. So the internship portal, I do recommend you guys keep an eye on it. There is a table that indicates when they're
Mhm.
going to have the enrollment period for the internship. And there's a fact sheet on how the various public service internships work. So I recommend students, as long as you're matriculating in school, you're qualified to be an intern.
Mhm.
Okay.
And then,
And
are there any internships offered in the summer? I'm not sure about what the student means
well,
winter, but summer.
yes, summer. These internships they start in the summer. Sorry, I should have
Mhm.
clarified. They start in the summertime. We do have some people that start in the summer and based on location are able to continue throughout the school year on a reduced hours basis, but they do start full time in the summertime. So I put our email in the chat as well. If individuals had further questions, they can reach out to recruit@nysif.com and we will, get back to you guys and answer your inquiries.
Amazing. Any other questions, students? Is there a cover letter required to apply for any position, or it's just a resume?
I mean, ideally, they always just say a cover letter and resume. I personally feel like the resume is sufficient,
Mhm.
especially if you're sending your resume via email, which is how most of our applications are received. Just something succincting the body of the email and attaching your resume is sufficient.
Mhm. So no,
And
just
if you are referring to a particular position that you saw maybe online or state jobs, if you have the vacancy number, that'll be even better to put in the subject line as well.
perfect. So far, did you have a
Um,
question?
yes, I have a quick question. So the internships are you're eligible, any student is eligible, like if you're a sophomore, junior, senior.
Yep, as long as you're matriculating. Now, of course, every department will have its own, interest as far as what you're pursuing, what your skill set is, but you're able to
Hmm.
apply once you're matriculating. Yes.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Okay. And also,
Continuing to the, go ahead.
I'm so sorry. I just want to say, I'm a senior in college, so would you recommend me already applying for the full-time position or an internship?
Well, I say if you have the qualifications for the full-time positions, apply for the full-time positions. If you already meet the qualifications, start doing that for sure.
Mhm.
But if you're
Hmm.
still working towards the qualifications, then the internship is your best bet.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now, are students allowed, like if students are graduating in May, they need to be matriculating after the internship? They still need to be a student after the internship? Because if we have May
That was
graduates
a
and they're applying for
question.
summer, I know a
That was
lot
a
of
question.
sites require.
I know that previous agencies they would let individuals who were just graduating
Mhm.
do the internship for that summer. But that's a question I have to ask. I'm not sure if we would allow
Okay,
that yet. I'm going to ask that question and get back to you.
sure.
Let me see.
Do you need any experience to apply for an internship? Okay, so no experience, just 1 year, of course, 1 year, of course, completion. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
sounds good. Well done. Thank you for responding so quickly.
Yes, Dawn is on it.
Yes.
And I can apply if they are
Okay.
graduating. Yeah, and
So thank
also
you.
if you're going to be pursuing, graduate school, or even after your bachelor's, if you are still matriculating any form, you're still able to be an intern.
Great.
And I'm going to get back to you on that other question.
And the show applications will be available in March. That's good to know.
Mm-hmm.
And in the meantime, if anybody needs help with their resume, you're more than welcome to come to the Career Center. We're located on Freeze Hall, second floor. We do have walk-in hours on Tuesdays between 12 at one to two, and we can, to have someone review your resume. So work on your resume. Now's the perfect time to work on your resume. So as soon as March comes, you'll have that resume ready, and you'll be, be ready to apply. So definitely take advantage of this timing right now.
And with the internship portal, you can go on there and establish an account now, so that you'll be ready for when it's open.
And Tiffany, I'm sorry, you might have mentioned it, and I probably just in regards to the interview process, how many interviews do students have to go through in order to secure a position?
I don't think it's more than one, maybe two, but I don't think it's more than one, to be quite honest. It's not that, multi-layered.
Is it in person with the person meeting, or is it the high view where you speak to so to say a blank page in the beginning? Because there are some companies that do that. It's called high view. They'll give you a few questions, you pre-record yourself, and then it gets sent to the recruiter, and the recruiter watches it, and then they're like, either will you move forward to the next round or you don't, or is it just purely with the person?
I think it's generally just with the department managers.
Okay.
But we are, just to speak for NYSIF, we are revamping our internship program. So I'm not sure what the final structure is going to be in the spring. But I don't think it's going to be something where we're asking for anything pre-recorded. If anything, it might be an application process with your resume, and then the interview, Okay,
all right, sounds great.
But we can keep in contact, and we'll let you know when it's open, and we'll let you know what the format is, so you can inform students.
Absolutely. Sephora, you have your hand up again. Do you have a question?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I just want to know, so the full-time positions are currently open and they close in November, but the internship still hasn't opened yet, correct? It opens in March?
Correct. Yeah, okay. Let's say around, let me look at the sheet. It says, I think March is when they're going to be opening up. Here we go, internship session date, sorry. So it looks like for summer 2024, the application period is going to begin February 3rd, 2024. That's what the site's saying. I'm going to copy and paste this so you can have it to look at. Now, this is the state site. This is not necessarily, we're going to use the application submitted here to pull for our candidates for internships. So that our process may start a little bit later, but you can start applying to the state internships February 3rd.
Got it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
Yeah, just one last question, for me at least. The work schedules, is it 9 to 5, or do you have more like afternoon shift, midnight shift, or like?
Oh,
typical...
yeah, we have pretty standard work schedules, 9 to 5, 8 to 4, 8:30 to 4:30. We don't have anything like in that third shift kind of area. I'm just trying to think. Not that we don't really have a lot of labor intensive or IT positions that would be necessarily overnight or in the evening. I'm pretty sure it's going to be standard 9 to 5.
Got it. Monday
if there's
through
anything,
Friday?
Monday through Friday.
Got it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So the internships in the summertime, in the wintertime, like I said, they're usually people who have started in the summer and then have been able to just stay on board and work a modified schedule around their school schedule in the winter. We don't typically start internships in the winter, but I'm not saying that doesn't mean that we're never going to do that. Right now we haven't, but we're always looking to revamp and improve our recruitment initiatives. So it might be something that comes down the pike later.
Great questions. Any other questions from students?
No exam. Oh, for no exam. So I talked about the junior investment analyst position, the customer service program specialist position, the project assistant you do need. There's another one. Oh, project assistant you don't need. What I'm going to do is I'm going to send Eleanor a listing of an attachment of all of our postings that currently don't need an exam. So you guys can have that. But again, the state job site has all of our current postings, and you'll be able to see which positions require an exam and which positions don't.
And once I receive it and along with the recording, I will email everyone of everything, the recording, and once Tiffany emails me the postings.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
If there are no any other questions, I would like to thank Tiffany and Dawn for this presentation. These are very informative. Thank you. Thank you everyone who joined us. I'll look out for the email. Yes, I will email the internship opportunities once in that email with everything else.
Yeah.
So thank you so
All
much. I
right.
really
Thank
appreciate
you
it.
all.
And
It was nice talking to you, everyone. Thank you for having us, Eleanor.
thank you, Tiffany. Have a good one.
All right. All right. Take
Thank
care.
you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye, everyone.